welcome to the Fisher Protocol, the show where saying The Who is the greatest rock and roll band of all time is not subjective, but everything else is. Please take a quick second to like, subscribe, and share with your Who-minded friends. The Who is a passion of ours. This is more of a personal journey, and no money is made from these videos. So liking and subscribing lets us know that you're not alone in Wholand. Constructive feedback is always welcome, either in the comments below, or you can follow me as I spout Who-related content on Twitter and Instagram at Fisher Protocol. I am Ethan. Today I'm being joined by my best Who mates, Tom and Betts. We do not claim to be experts, just a few folks who like to talk about the greatest rock and roll band of all time, The Who. Hey guys, how you doing today?
Hey, what's going
on? Not a lot's going on, man. We just had a bunch of Who news today, but what this meeting started as was kind of a meeting. We just wanted to go over some thoughts on my favorite Pete Townshend solo album, and it might be yours too. It's called All the Best Cowboys Have Chinese Eyes.
Yeah.
What is your first impressions of this Pete Townshend solo recording?
I'd listened to it a bunch of times before, but never under a microscope. I've put it on the background and had a good time listening to it. But I don't know if it's my favorite Pete Townshend album, but I don't know if I've spent as much time with it as other ones, that's for sure.
What would be your favorite Pete Townshend album?
White City, maybe? I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. It's tough.
Might have to rank those later. Betts, what's your experience with this?
Well, I'm going to be straight with you. I bought it back in '82 when I was 17 years old, and it was never like my favorite. But when you had us listen to it again, I hadn't heard it in years, and listening to it at 17, and then having the experience of listening to it at 57, I get it now. I won't lie, it was kind of emotional because you don't have those experiences at 17 that you gain at 57. And there were parts of it where I really felt like kind of overwhelmed, like almost like I had an arrow fired into my heart. I mean, The Sea Refuses No River and Stop Hurting People, just, they got me, So I'm going to put it up there in the top now. Empty Glass was my favorite for years, but I think I'm going to put this one up there because this one affected me.
Right on. When I first heard this, I can't say exactly where I was. I think I had, as I always say here, heard that live at Fillmore 96 Pete Townshend, and one of the songs on it was Slit Skirts, and I was like, I need to find this album. And I found it, and just like Tom said about the Who Sell Out, you're not listening to these songs separately on other things. These songs belong on this record. You know what I mean? I'm not picking them out to put them on compilations. If I'm listening to All the Best Cowboys Have Chinese Eyes, that's what I'm listening to. It's my favorite Pete, even though it's harder for me to describe why it's my favorite. I don't skip any song on it, any song that is mildly annoying, or if I don't like it, it's so short that it's over. I did some more research for it. All the Best Cowboys Have Chinese Eyes is Pete Townshend's third solo record and was released on June 14th, 1982, 2 years after the very successful album Empty Glass, which had, yes, one of the biggest pop songs that, by our favorite writer was Let My Love Open the Door, and 3 months before It's Hard by The Who. And I'll just read this. Townshend explained the album title was referring to average American hero, someone like Clint Eastwood or John Wayne, someone with eyes like slits. Townshend said really closely after the release of the album he should be awarded the stupidest title for a record of the year. I don't disagree. This is obviously a Pete solo sober record. Sober, and you can hear him wanting to go away from the sound of The Who. I think mostly, and I'll get into it more later, it's a perfect reflection of him still writing for his audience. His audience has grown with him. And maybe we're getting a little up there and we're in our 40s and we don't need to hear loud power chords. We want to hear some self-introspection. And I love the album, so...
Yeah, like I said, I think that's how it affected me. like I said, I've had those experiences. I've been cast upon love's rocky shoals, as it were. Which I wasn't at 17, and so, coming off the couple of years that I've had, this record really it hit me, and I love it for that.
It starts off with "Stop Hurting People," which is unlike anything I had heard from him before. The talking through it, the music underward, like the dialogue in the middle. Obviously, it sounds like Simon Phillips and Jody Linscott to me throughout the whole thing. Not sure who the bassist was on these. I'm trying to see if I can find Tony Butler. But when you see it live, I know it's Chicho Marchan. And I love the song. Tom, what do you think?
I like the song itself. I'm not a huge fan of like the talking style of singing or whatever.
Okay.
Not my favorite part of it, but it's a good song though for sure.
Right on. And you, Beth, you want to touch on it again?
When I first started, I was like, "Oh, it's Literary Pete," because I know he was writing a lot. He was writing a lot of prose and that kind of thing. And at first, it was sort of like, but then, like I said, when I started really listening to what he was saying, like I know that feeling. And you just want to be reunited with somebody. Not reunited, but you want to be with someone. You want, and that he writes loneliness and longing so well. Like so well, and that's this. I love Stop Hurting People. I really do. Once you kind of get past that like spoken word thing, and like I say, listen, then it's very effective.
Now he opens up real strong, with "The Sea Refuses No River" next, right? This is an epic song. In fact, if it weren't for Slit Skirts, I would say this is the most epic song. In fact, this is more epic than Slit Skirts.
Definitely.
It's a beautiful song. I love the layers. There is a little bit, you can hear really clearly that guitar-driven Pete Townshend, just not with all the gain on it.
Yeah.
And making these difficult chords. He said about it, "One of my best songs as a solo artist was The Sea Refuses No River, an idea that the river of human beings flows into the ocean. It's pretty cheesy, but for speaking about spirituality, it's a really good metaphor." What say you guys?
Yeah, I'd read something somewhere that it was maybe even possibly about drugs and like, he had just finished, had issues with heroin and all that, and just like it can get anybody and it accepts everybody and it can, it can wash you away just like anybody else. So I don't know if that's true or not. I didn't do a super deep dive on that part, but that was something I had stumbled upon. But obviously real strong spiritual connections as well. And that's how I've always identified with it.
Beth, did you already say something about this? Did I?
Yeah, I'm the same as Tom. I think it works on a whole bunch of levels. It works on, like, I know he wanted pretty desperately at that point, he was in a really dark place when he wrote a lot of these songs. I mean, heroin and freebasing and just awful stuff, and then being separated from Karen and wanting to reunite, same as Stop Hurting People. And so it works on like acceptance in relationships with people, and then the spiritual aspect too. It's a beautiful song, really complex and really lush, but also really raw at its heart, and I love that.
And yeah, two things about this song is, one, last night I dipped back into Roger Daltrey Sings the Songs of Pete Townshend from 1994, which is a CD I have, and I guess I'd only heard the Roger Daltrey version once or twice from that CD. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's one of the few CDs I keep in my car.
Yeah,
and it's like, I go through those CDs here and there, like if whatever, and I can't listen to my phone, and I love that version. I love the whole CD, but that version is impeccable.
Always bummed that bass solo is not on that CD, right? That Behind Blue Lights bass solo is not on the CD, but it's on the video. But it's not on the CD, right? And two, just a reminder for everyone, I didn't really go into what Pete wrote about the songs, because that's not what we do here. We talk about how we feel about the songs. So, songs become different things to different people, and that's what we talk about, what they become to us here. Prelude for me is in fact a prelude to the upbeat part of the album. You know, you have these two like epics at the front, right? And then you have this little piano prelude. Anything about Prelude from you guys?
Love it.
Yeah, it's just a quick little thing, and you know, he's looking for change before he says goodbye. It's like, all right, well, what's that about?
Right. You know, I said this about a couple of them. There's like 2 or 3 or 4 of my favorite songs ever on this album. And the next one is Face Dances Part 2. It's upbeat. It's two chords. It's Pete's amazing vocal playing along with like I want to say xylophone or harpsichord. I'm not sure what Simon Phillips is playing there in the high register, but I love Face Dances Part 2. It's one of the only 45s I ever bought twice, knowing that I already had it.
Nice.
And they're actually different covers. I'll have to do the research on that. I'm not sure what's going on there. But yeah, I love it. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's a great song. Apparently he'd written it when he was looking in the mirror. You know, he's talking about the alienation he felt from like his wife and his band members, and you know, one of the lines is "You make me feel like I don't care." Yeah, it's just a good self-reflection song for.
Tom seemed to have froze up real quick. We're gonna keep going. Let me tell him he's frozen. But
to me, it's the "Let My Love Open the Door" moment of the record. It's a real bouncy, fun kind of. I love it. It's a fun song. I really enjoy it.
It's he was looking in the mirror when he wrote the song, and just anytime he's doing any kind of self-reflection and writing a song for himself, almost that's when he's writing his best music for sure. And just like the alienation from his wife and his band members and stuff, you know, he hit this one out of the park.
When I think of this album, I think of Exquisitely Bored. It paints such a pastiche picture of, I see him in a limousine surrounded by champagne and cocaine and women, and it's not doing anything for him. It's making him real comfortably numb. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Every once in a while he'll pop out and talk about the beaches in Laguna, but then it goes right back. Driving around his gas-guzzling limousine. The bass is amazing. The drums are powerful. I mean, it's a mood. As the kids say, the whole song is a vibe, and I 100% catch that vibe.
Yeah.
I love that song.
Yeah, I mean, you nailed it on the head. And one of the lines I wrote down was, because he's talking about the sunshine in Monterey or something like that, and then he says, "But it rains in my heart," and it's just like, he's, you know, if you're miserable, you're miserable, and you know, he doesn't even care that he's in beautiful California. He's just like, whatever.
Right.
Like, he's just not happy.
Bets, anything for you?
I almost feel like almost like kind of a shot at the Eagles and that chord. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's hard to describe for me, but yeah, it's like just the whole California vibe, and he just isn't vibing with it. So yeah, right. I like it.
And I like to think that like there's a very specific. I looked at Who I Am last night, the Pete Townshend book, to try to find stuff about this album, and there's literally like a sentence in it, right? But there's a great story with Jody Lynn Scott and a granite countertop, which I won't repeat here.
Yeah, I saw that.
just to say that I think I will always say her name. I think she's amazing. All right, so now I want to talk about Face Dances Part 2 and communication together, and Bets can take us through a little bit of this video I had to watch for this. Tom, did you watch the video?
I didn't know there was a video to watch. I might have missed that.
Okay.
Because I really wanted to know Tom's opinion about Pete's breakfast in that video. Because I'm traumatized.
What do you eat? What do you eat in the video?
He literally took eggs and bacon and microwaved them.
Oh, the microwave is a great tool. I'm all for it.
Huh?
You can use microwave for everything. I love it.
Oh God, I was just like, no, what are you doing, Pete? No.
Microwave bacon is highly underrated, I promise.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. I'm not willing to find out.
We microwave bacon here exclusively. But I like the song Communication. The video was a 30-minute video. They needed something for MTV, which was new at the time. They had Pete for 5 or 6 days. They threw together some videos, which even only having 5 or 6 days, and they're not great to look at, they are innovative for the time.
Mm-hmm.
He's got full, like, robots singing the songs and miming the songs. And also him twirling around with a Stratocaster, or with a Rickenbacker in a garden. It's on YouTube. You can get it.
It was. I enjoyed it. There was, other than the breakfast part, it was really cool. The final credits were just lovely.
I'll have to check those out again.
Yeah, he's playing. He's just doing a solo piano of Prelude, and it was like.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that was wonderful. So.
Not a fan of the added harmonica and slit skirts.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a fan of that. All right, side 2. Stardom and Acton. This seems
Can
like
we
to
talk
be
about Communication at all?
Well, we said it was great. Yeah, let's talk about it. A great track. It's got a really hardcore drum drive to it, right?
Yeah, I have no idea what this song's about.
With this album, I had a lot of problems figuring out what songs were about just by listening to the lyrics. I don't go and read what Pete said.
But just even reading the lyrics, I was like, what? I have no idea what this thing's about. I would say it's my least favorite song on the album.
Yeah, it's not my favorite song. To me, it's a little too on the nose. And I will say this, Gay to Lazy, who he mentions, at the time wrote like a really naughty, scandalous book called Thy Neighbor's Wife, and it was all about wife swapping and the adult film industry and that kind of thing, I believe. So he was very much on topic at that time. So I'm wondering if that's why his name got thrown in there. But he was a thing back then. So, but it's not my favorite song on this record.
I felt like I'd have to Google most of the references in that.
Yeah.
Song. I was just, I had nothing on it. And I just.
But then again, I think it's real short, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, all of them are real short. Stardom and Acton seems to be about mostly sexual frustration. Am I wrong about that?
Something like that. Yeah, there's some of that in there.
I felt like it was like, ooh, I'm a big guy in Acton. You know what I'm kind of saying?
Right.
Like, be careful what you wish for kind of song.
Okay.
Yeah.
And maybe not the part that I read was sexual frustration, but just it was something in there. Yeah, you're right. Like I said, man, here's what I like about Pete. And sometimes I don't understand, but he uses big words. And he makes big words fit in complex things. And I know Stardom and Acton is very close to his heart. Acton Grammar School, from where he's from. My total futile destiny. I'm so angry you interrupted my dream. Now I know that the power rests in me. Started in Acton, that's all they got. I didn't remain your friend too long. I'm angry that you turned on me. Yep. I'm Hollywood's son. All alone, don't admire anonymity. Born in a trunk. Yeah, man, Pete's got a lot of stuff going on here. He's dealing with some stuff, man.
Yeah, I think it's the most Who-ish sounding song on the album.
That's my biggest note. Is that this is the most thing that I could hear Roger Daltrey singing.
Yeah, it's a raver. I love it. I'm sorry it wasn't a single, because it does have that chorus that you can pretty much shout along to. I really, this was one of my favorites.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I tend to skip Communication and go right to Stardom and Acton.
And I like that he described playing this record for the record company after Let My Love Open the Door, and how he played the record for them, and he could just see in their eyes the millions of dollars being thrown in the trash.
Why though? It's a great song.
No, the whole album is great, but it is not empty glass. So the record company was not happy. I am happy.
Yeah.
You are happy.
We're happy. We're all that matters. So
yeah, but I don't matter. You don't matter. Nothing does this mindless chatter. It doesn't matter where you're from. What matters is your uniform. Uniforms. Another great song.
Yes.
You like that segue? Yeah, that's good. They say that nakedness is what our Lord intended.
But when we stand naked, we all appear the same.
Nope, that's the wrong one. I hate these.
Let me tell you, the amount of hours I spent trying to replicate that one girl's eye makeup back then, like, it was, yeah.
I don't know how I feel about the gray coat with the thing. It just doesn't look comfortable.
No.
Especially when he redid the pictures. Remember? Older Pete redid the pictures for All Best Cowboys.
Yeah.
In that same outfit.
Did not know that.
Yeah. I like uniforms. A lot.
Yeah.
North Country Girl. And we'll get to these next two to get the slit skirts, I think. I did some research. Some people say it's written by Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan says it's a traditional song. Pete says he does his kind of like Roy Harper now. This is not Roy Harper influence, this one. I don't know what you would call this influence. I'd never heard this kind of version of it before. I know Simon and Garfunkel obviously did a version about Scarborough Fair.
Yeah.
Same kind of thing. I really like this version.
It's good.
Yep. Added with more like chorus and instrumentation than any of the other versions, I guess, combined.
Yeah.
The anti-nuke message kind of at the end, it hits you with that little bit.
Maybe that's his add-on, huh?
Yeah. I think so. She didn't suffer when the fallout sprayed, I think is the line.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah. It's an anti-nuke song, definitely.
All right, so I assume this is about Pete's drug cleanup. Somebody save me.
Oh yeah.
I don't really know though.
I got a different thing from it too.
What'd you get from it?
It's just kind of like I think it's a little more vague, but it's you're looking like dodging a bullet and then realizing after the fact like, oh, I wanted that, but guess what? It ended up not being a good thing. And in the case that I was kind of reading into it, it seemed like it was more about a woman than anything. He's kind of yearning after this woman and then finds out that, hey, maybe, she killed him like she would have killed me or something like that. Or I can't remember what the line was, but it's something like that. And it's like, whew, dodge that one.
Wow, it seems I didn't listen to any lyrics of the favorite album of my favorite guy, so I love it when that happens. Bets, anything? You like it?
I'm with Tom again. This is a song about gratitude. It's a kind of not recognizing that, this opportunity is not what I want or what I need or what's best for me. And I think, cleaning up the way he did, I think, you look back and you're like, I again dodged the bullet on those. So.
But he only got that perspective once he cleaned up, so it's about both. I'm right again. Yay.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Who version of Somebody Save Me. You guys hear that?
Mm-mm.
So wait, did you say yes, Betsy?
I have not, no, but I bet Roger just like owns this song. It seems kind of built for him.
But he doesn't. I don't think he sings it on it.
Well, he should.
I think it's a Who version that's still Pete Townshend singing on, and I think it's on Who Are You bonus tracks from '97.
Okay.
Like
I haven't heard my version of
Face Dance's bonus tracks are.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't heard that one. No, but I would like to. Yeah, definitely. I'm going to check it out.
I'm going to talk about my favorite song on the album, which closes it out with Slit Skirts. First of all, it's one of those albums where it's like it reminded me of like a early Roger Moore comic book, where it's like there are words and I can read them, but I need to read it with a thesaurus and a dictionary.
Yeah.
To try to talk to some literary friends to know what it means. I don't know if there's certain things I still do understand, but I get the main relationship. I get the viciousness of the song. I also get the sweetness of the song. And I get the sadness of the song. But I also get the rockin' part of the song. And it's a perfect... I'll show you my takeaways before you guys talk about it. You know, this is a song that makes me think that this album is Pete's child of the Who by Numbers.
I can see it.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, he's never been more raw on a Who album than he was on that album. And he's never been more raw on a solo album as he is on this album. Just basically taking the words that he's feeling inside his bones and putting them to music on paper, no matter what the subject is, whether it's how much I booze or the fact that the sexual dynamic has changed in my uber long relationship and it's frustrating for everybody. Slit Skirts, what do you guys think?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, same thoughts. Like, I literally wrote pretty depressing song when you listen about it, and you like need to go through with a fine-tooth comb. You know, and just the falling out between two lovers, and yeah, it's a great song. But when you like kind of lift the veil of like just a rockin' song, it's like, oh man, that's pretty depressing.
Beth, any final words for Slit Skirts?
Well, having kind of lived it, again, this is another one that hit me. I wasn't expecting it to hit me the way it hit me, but it's a universal sentiment, and it's very raw. It's you know, kind of a shriek from the heart, and was again very emotional for me. Very emotional for me.
Yeah, I think it's Pete Townshend at his very best, and and his most pretentious, which is what we like about him.
He do love a word.
he do love a word, and none of the words have anything to do with getting any rings to Mordor, so that's good. That's it. Rate. Let's do a rate out of 5 stars, I guess. Tom, what do you think? All the best Cowboys.
Oh, there's the strong songs really are really strong. I don't know, 3.5, 4. It's up there. But if we're going out of 5, it's not. I wouldn't say it's a 5 for me, but I don't know.
That's you.
Okay, so favorite and how it affected me personally. I'm gonna give Empty Glass a 5. I'm gonna give this a 4.5. I'm taking off a half a star for communication because I don't like that song.
Okay, fair enough.
It's pretentious and overly complicated, and but the rest of it, it earns every one of those other stars and a half because it is a beautiful record. I love it, and like I said, it means a lot to me personally.
Same. It means a lot to me personally. I do want to leave room if we listen to other ones with a caveat that I can change it later. I want to give it a 4.5. Simply because, you know, whether they count as a studio or not, that Fillmore is the one I always go to, which has some of these songs on it. But also Empty Glass has some songs I really don't like on it, but mostly I do like them. So, I don't know if we're going to do rankings, but that's it. I think, if you're asking us, you should probably go out and buy All the Best Cowboys Have Chinese Eyes. Really listen to it, and I think you'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
I think we're going to come back pretty soon, so thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll check you next time. Thanks.